Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Chet.
Morning, everybody. Ready to rock and roll this morning?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, we're doing a little bit of a switch up. Lee's under the weather, so it's just going to be me and Rennie today, which I'm sure we can handle it okay. So get started with our sponsors: Peace of Mind Training and Global Elite Tactical Training, and
i12 GIA.
i12 GIA, which is our main sponsor. So today we're going to be talking about congressional misconduct. I think that's probably a topic that's close to all of our hearts. So Rennie, you want to kick us off, brother? I know you got a lot of stuff to say.
Yeah, I don't know if you really want to call it congressional misconduct. I'd rather call it a criminal enterprise that they're getting away with.
Yeah, pretty much.
John Adams and John Quincy Adams, when they were drafting the Constitution, they believed that no member should serve more than one term. And the reason that they thought that was because they didn't want people to make a career out of being in the legislature, because that's where all your criminal enterprise come in. People taking bribes, people taking money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, that never really came to fruition. And we are where we are today.
Yeah, now that goes back to like 1790. As you can see, the legislative misconduct database is up right now.
Yeah.
They've been keeping track of this shit for 1790. And one of the things that I noticed going through this is that seldom, if ever, has anyone actually been expelled from Congress.
Oh, okay. Judge Santos expelled from Congress.
Exactly.
Hasn't even been tried and convicted yet. He was expelled from Congress. Yet you get a guy that pulls a firearm, pleads guilty to a misdemeanor, he pays $1,000 fine, and he still got his job.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, Judge Santos has been expelled from Congress. Yep. Sorry, I got to correct you on that one.
But maybe he should have been, or he should be.
Maybe he should have been. Maybe he should have stayed there until his trial.
Well, yeah, that probably would have been a better option.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's something that really, the poison of politics infects everything in here. Let's take Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example. Okay. I just read in this same database today, since May of 2021 to March of 2022, she received multiple citations for failing to wear her mask on the floor of Congress. Okay. It's an ethics violation. So during that, the first fine is $500. Every subsequent fine is $2,500 after that. They deducted $93,000 from her congressional salary for that period of time for not wearing a mask on the floor.
Well, personally, I wouldn't have worn a mask either.
Well, yeah, and a lot of other people wouldn't.
And I would have gladly paid that $93,000.
Yeah, but on the other hand, though, you have congressional members that involved in sexual misconduct, ethics violations, as you said earlier, outright criminal violations.
Okay,
and then just
let's stop here for a second. So I did some research. There was $17.2 million paid out by U.S. taxpayers to cover 268 settlements of members of Congress for sexual assault and sexual harassment.
Yeah, they have a slush fund.
There you go.
To pay for that.
If that was you or I, would be held without bail. Well, yeah, would be in jail for just a general member of the public. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, hell, that goes back to Mary Jo Kopechnik, with Ted Kennedy.
Oh yeah, when Ted Kennedy did, he made the backstroke famous on that one.
Yeah, without a doubt. And somebody died as a result.
Yeah.
Because inactions, inactivity.
Yeah.
Well, we got okay. Hey, folks, we have a call-in line now. So if you want to call the show, 508-974-4231. You can see it on the bottom of our screen there, that brown stuff with white letters. We'd love to hear from you if you want to give us a call and talk to you. Okay. I was thinking this morning about all this because Rennie, you and I are both we've come from professions where we're required to apply for a job, submit to background investigations, polygraphs, deep investigations for clearance.
SF-86 haunts me. I still have nightmares.
Exactly. Psychological evaluations, continuous, just continuous evaluations throughout our entire career, from command staff, from supervisors, so forth and so on. Politicians aren't subjected to that. We have to maintain our finances, our moral status to keep our clearances. If we don't keep our clearances, we lose our job.
Yeah,
right? So this is alien.
Elected members of Congress are exempt from that background checks. They just get the clearances by virtue of being voted in.
Right. Why? That just does not. They're supposed to be representatives of the people holding positions of high power, and they're not. None of this should apply to them. So why?
One morning I got a call saying I had to go for a piss test. I go, yeah, they said your number came up. I go, okay. That was like 9 o'clock in the morning. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I get another call from Washington, D.C. Hey, you got to go for a piss test. I go, whoa. I just went at 9 o'clock. They said, sorry, your number's been pulled again. No?
Yeah. I had a few of those.
It doesn't happen to them, though. I can guarantee you that.
No, definitely not. And even if it was, and even if they came back positive, nothing would happen.
No.
So is it because they're elected officials? Is that the difference?
So when I went through my clearance class, I was told members of Congress who are elected are given security clearances with no background checks.
Well, yeah, based on what's going on right now with the squad, that's pretty obvious.
Yep.
Not only should they have their background clearances, and along with all their committee positions pulled, some of them should be deported.
Yep.
Because they're here fraudulently in this country, as you just said.
Oh, yeah. And they have access to the government's highest information.
Okay, I'm going to read through the highlighted section. Back to Santos again just for a minute. He was indicted on charges of identity theft, fraud, money laundering, lying to the House of Representatives on financial disclosure forms, theft of public funds, a whole bunch of fraud for personal uses. But he's accused of unemployment funds while employed in 2020. But you're right, he should have had a trial of some kind.
Yeah.
Because again, all these on the graphs and all, they're all allegations until proven. Just like they have the rights of everybody else. You're innocent.
Right. And he should have been able to remain a member of the U.S. Congress until he had a trial and he was found guilty or he was acquitted. Then it should have been the end of it. But
right.
If you want to talk about misappropriation of funds, look at Cori Bush. Paid her husband over $760,000 to provide security because he was trained and provided security, yet he never held a license in Missouri or Washington, D.C. for that matter.
Yeah. Isn't there a couple of those?
And then she says, no further explanation needed.
Yeah.
Or
that's
Ilhan Omar paying her husband.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what do we do about this, brother?
Nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing we can do about it. Until Congress wants to act and rectify it. And as far as I'm aware, only one guy's ever tried to do anything about it, and that was Scott Brown. He wrote a bill on insider trading. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, they're making their money lying in their pockets. Why are they gonna shoot themselves in the dick? It ain't going to happen.
Right. Well, like you said earlier, this wasn't supposed to be a lifetime assignment.
No. According to the founders, no. They would get in there. They were to serve a term, make an impact, and get out and let somebody else get in.
Yeah, exactly. As actual representatives of the
Right.
people. These people aren't representatives of the people; they're representatives of themselves and their own self-interest for the most part. I think I don't know. I'm sure it'd be easy to learn, but I don't know how many members of Congress actually have a career outside of politics. I guess it seems like most of them, they go to the certain schools, they get their degrees in law that they never use in a career sense, and they go right into politics. And then they're there for the next 20 to 50 years until they die. That's not how this shit's supposed to work. Hey, that's part of the problem.
Let's look at some classic examples. Chuck Schumer,
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein died in office, 93 years old.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they were wheeling her in a wheelchair. They were telling her what to say. That's not how it's supposed to work. That's not how our elected representatives are supposed to function. Right now, we have a dysfunctional government.
Oh, yeah.
Period. End of story. And all 435 members are contributing to that dysfunction.
Right. Republican, Democrat, Independent. Yeah, they're politicians. That's what they do. One way to fix some of this shit might be term limits.
Well, you can't do that simply because, constitutionally speaking, you got to do a constitutional amendment. You got to have a convention of the states, have a constitutional amendment. The risk you run doing a constitutional amendment is you open up the whole Constitution. So,
well, that's an interesting thought.
You could actually toss out the Second Amendment too. So
it couldn't be a clean amendment.
No. Some would argue we already have term limits at the ballot box. But if you don't have free and fair elections, then you haven't got your term limits. But
and it's not only that too. I mean, let's face it, elections are nothing but popularity.
Right. But I've heard that said many, many times that we do have term limits called the ballot box.
Okay.
Well,
that would make sense if it works.
Huh?
That would make sense if it works, but it doesn't work.
No, if it worked, if we had free and fair elections, but we don't.
Oh God, not even close.
Not even close.
And when you add in the fraud and the manipulation and everything else on top of that, they're gone.
And look at how many of them they get $174,000 salary. I think they got to serve a minimum of 2 terms. I think it's a minimum of 2 terms. I could be wrong. I'd have to look it up. Pick a topic while I look it up.
Well, no, we can just keep going with that for a little bit. For a lifetime retirement,
right.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue. Why they're not going to? You're right. They're not going to vote themselves less benefits, so we can't depend on them to be responsible with the taxpayer dollars, and because they're obviously not. I'd also like to know how many politicians have made money versus lost money in Congress. I can only think of one. Donald Trump's the only one that's actually lost money by being a politician, and that's because he wasn't a politician to begin with.
He donated his salary for the whole 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. So just in legal funds, a lot of lawyers have made a lot of money off Donald Trump. A lot of media companies have made money off of him, off of all the conflicts. But he personally, the Trump organization, has lost some serious money just by being a politician.
All right, so here we go. As of 2019, members who participated in congressional pension system are vested after 5 years of service.
5 years, okay.
A pension is available to members 62 years of age with 5 years of service, 50 years or older with 20 years of service, or 25 years of service at any age. A reduced pension is available depending upon which of the several difference age/service option is chosen. If members leave Congress before reaching retirement age, they may leave their contribution beyond and receive a deferred pension at a later time. So, 5 years. Wow. And they pocket $174,000 a year for the rest of their life.
That's plus healthcare and security and whatever else.
Yes, free health care, yeah, that you and I have to pay for.
Right.
Yep.
For all 435 members. Wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did some, so I'm going to drop some names. I did some research. I found 7 congressmen. One was a senator. Guy by the name of Pat Meehan. He had to resign. Sexual harassment.
Okay.
Al Franken. We all remember him, right? Minnesota Al Franken. Resigned. He groped somebody's boobs. Trent Franks resigned. Inappropriate behavior with 2 female staffers. Blake Farrenhold resigned. Sexual harassment. John Conyers. Sexual harassment. Paid out $27,000 before he resigned. Bobby Scott. Sexual harassment with a staffer, resigned. And the last one I found was Reuben Kuhn. Sexual harassment, resigned. Now, the illustrious Senator Bob Menendez from New Jersey, who's awaiting his second trial. His first trial, he was using congressional funds to go to the Dominican Republic to have sex with 12-year-old prostitutes because that's legal there. That's what they indicted him on. And they actually found a jury that said, hey, good luck to you, buddy, not guilty. You know, they kind of gave it their blessing, you know, which is sick. But, and you know what?
So
you call it congressional misconduct. I'd like to call it the fall of the Roman Empire because that's how the Roman Empire fell. Politicians became greedy. They did what they wanted to do. They had no regard for the people. They decided they could raid the public treasury for their own benefits, spend the money the way they wanted. And the average life of democracy, they say, is what, 200, 250 years? Well,
we're there.
We're there. We're on overtime.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and every empire falls. The only way you can, how many times has it been said that the only way that you can destroy the United States is from within? And that's exactly what's happened. Yeah. You know, I know in my lifetime, I've never been more concerned than I am right now about the ability of our republic to continue.
We're on tonight. This is the do or die year.
Yeah.
You know, we're headed for some tough times.
Yeah. You know, I guess they're trying to wave Michelle Obama out there again as some kind of a contender for the next election. Can you imagine?
Big Mike.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
No. But I've been hearing in legitimate circles, Mr. B, thank you for the bingo. Appreciate you being here. I've been hearing Gavin Newsom's name thrown around. He's been going around giving speeches. You haven't seen Big Mike out there. Newsom's been on the campaign trail.
Yeah, that's just bizarre. You know, I don't. Well, the only way you can pull it off with him is just massive election fraud.
Well, that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I listened to Trump's former aide there. What was his name? He's on Fox News all the time.
Should I? Yeah, the Groucho Marx, a little duck. Man, I haven't seen that show in forever. You know, it's in syndication. You watch the reruns. So.
I'll look it up.
Maybe, hey, Mr. or Jeff, we should, or Mr. B, we should maybe get that little duck for something as a prop. Actually, let me write that down. I'll do a strangling chicken or something. You have your bell there, so.
Well, one of Trump's top aides said his feeling was one of 3 things was going to happen. They were going to eliminate Trump from the election by having his name off the ballots in enough states that he wouldn't qualify. for the nomination.
Right.
Second thing is they said if they couldn't go that route, that they would, make sure he was in jail before the primaries were over. Take him out that way. And then he said the third and final thing, he said if none of that worked, then they'd probably try to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a scary thought. I cannot imagine the fallout from that. I really hope that.
So I would think that based on what I've been seeing and hearing, Gavin Newsom's going to be the anointed one.
Yeah.
Not Big Mike.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's possible. I keep forgetting about him.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Like I said, I've been watching him on the campaign trails. He's been talking a good game.
Yeah. Well, I saw his walk out the White House doors with his jacket blown, his shirt sleeves, all rolled up.
Well, I take that back. Not talking a good game, spewing bullshit. But
yeah, exactly.
And he's very good at it. Very good at it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh well, I guess we shall see. Hopefully, cooler heads will prevail.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think? Well, we're off topic here, but that's okay though, because we're just shooting the shit today. Do you think that, let's say there is massive election fraud again, do you think that the average person is going to put up with it for a second time?
That's a really good question. If you want my honest opinion,
I do.
Okay. Two things I'm going to address. First one is the financial network. They're thinking of they're pushing hard. They're really, really pushing hard. Looks like we got a phone call.
No. That was just no. We don't.
Okay. They're really pushing hard on digital currency. And the reason that they're pushing hard on the digital currency, and they want to tie it to the social credit score, is because they'll have total control over you. So let's say you fill up your truck 5 times in a month. Well, they're going to look at your bank account and say, Chet, you've overstepped your carbon footprint, so you can't buy gas anymore for the next month and a half. Or they may look and see that you went and bought firearms and stuff like that, and they may shut your account off altogether. So that scares me. Elections do have consequences,
Yeah, we had that conversation on a prior podcast when we talked about 15-minute cities and all that shit.
Yeah, it looks closer and closer and closer to becoming reality. Yep. And that should really keep you up at night.
It really should. I think we need to delve a little bit more into how people feel about all this stuff. Let's talk about feelings. My personal opinion, and let me know if I'm wrong, is that I think there are a lot of quiet professionals out there that are, people that are folks that are just trying to get through the day and provide for their families and keep a roof over their head and live a good life as much as they can get out of the American dream now. But they're all quiet. They're not saying a whole lot. But what do you think will be the catalyst that sparks all those professionals to rise, those quiet professionals to rise up and say, that's enough, we're done?
When they take us off the grid, financially, power-wise, food-wise, Mr. B just hit it out of the park with his comment. Most people know what needs to be done, but few will do it. That was the second thing I was going to get at before I made my first comment and lost my train of thought. I think people are too comfortable in their lifestyles right now until something really happens that's going to cause them pain. And you know what the old saying is, pain is a motivator, right? Until something specific happens to them that's going to cause them pain. I don't think people have the stomach for it. Mr. B's right. fuel to it.
You're right. Pain and anger is one of the best motivators too. One of my favorite sayings in life in general, it's like a life quote for me, is from a tiny acorn, a mighty oak grows. And I use that in a lot of different scenarios. And I think it's going to be the same thing with this stuff too. I think it's going to be, I understand what you're saying about taking off the grid and those kind of things that create pain, but I think it's going to be one small spark that's going to start this fire. And I'm really concerned about what's going to happen as a result of that.
Well, some experts said it the other night. Chinese nationals, Chinese-aged military men, Chinese special operations are already in this country, getting ready to pounce on infrastructure.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, you know, they have a whole army of hackers.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm talking about. Taking down the power grids, taking down the banking, taking down hospitals. I ain't gonna mention the name of the hospital. The other day they couldn't sign into their computer systems. You know,
right. And some of that's for criminal purposes, for extortion, but some of it's, and some of it I think is for testing purposes also, to see just how far into a system that they can get.
Yeah.
There's a report floating around out there, something about unfriendly powers hacking into military computers and causing aircraft to crash, ships run into each other. A whole bunch of really bad things that could happen with hacking. And we are so far behind securing these systems. It's ridiculous.
So looks like we get a break. We got to take a break, but we'll take this up where we left off when we get back.
Yep, sounds good. While we're waiting, give us a call, folks. We really want to talk to some people about this and start getting
caller on the air.
There we go. Hello, caller. What's up?
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. This is me, your old friend, Mr. B. I'm not going to pull any punches from it. Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Yes, people know what needs to be done, but very few are willing to do what needs to be done. And you already see the writing's on the wall. They're trying to limit how far we can go by using only electric vehicles. They can only go about 250 to 300 miles. They're cutting out our gasoline. They're telling us what we can buy, and how we can heat our homes and cook our food. How much more is it going to take? What is it going to take for people to wake up and realize that, you called it right. We are facing the fall of the Roman Empire. It's happening. And I'll leave that with you.
Yes. The guy that wrote the 100-year marathon, I saw him on TV the other day. He says China is more than 2/3 of the way to completing their mission. And it's happening.
Absolutely.
2049.
I couldn't agree with you more.
2049 is the drop dead date.
Well, thank you very much for taking my call, and you guys are right on the money. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. B. Appreciate you calling in.
That kind of leads back to what he was just talking about, my comment about what tiny spark is going to fire all this shit off.
Oh.
There are so many, before it turns into a dumpster fire.
I say it'll be this year. I say it'll be on or before November 4th. When Fox News calls it for Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Well, that's possible, yeah. But I guess we need to take a break here somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
I believe. So whenever you're ready there, Mr. Producer. Or not.
No matter what you are, I will always be with you. Doesn't matter what you do, girl. Ooh, girl, want you. No matter where you go, I will always be around. Won't you tell me what you found, girl? Ooh, girl, want you.
So
Okay. We're back.
during the break, I thought it was Stephen Miller.
Okay.
He's the one that made that comment. But
Okay.
getting back to my, I don't think this is congressional misconduct. I think we're actually living the second fall of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire lost its strength. They hadn't allowed it to exercise effective control of its western provinces. Modern historians point to the fact that it included the effectiveness and the members of the army. Well, look what they've done to the army and the navy. They've driven it so woke. You don't even need a high school diploma now to get in. All right. And that's just recently. They've taken the army and the navy and they've just, I don't know. It's
All branches of the service.
it's buffoonery at its best. And then the second thing is the health and the numbers of the population. Well, who did they elect in 2008?
Yeah.
Re-elected in 2012. What happened in 2012? The famous quote, "We got to sign it and pass it before we can see what's in it."
Yep.
Became known as Obamacare. Now, all that's done is created 8, 10, 12-hour waits in the emergency room and doctor shortages.
Yep.
The strength of the economy. Our economy's in the fucking toilet right now. You
Yep.
know, I can go take a leak and my piss has more weight than a dollar. You know,
Yeah.
sad to say. The competence of the leaders. Well, we're talking about it. They're out of control. We get no leaders. We get no leadership. We get no leaders. Congress is not leading us. The speaker says something that the rest of them don't like. They kick the speaker out. And there's a bunch of buffoonery that goes on. And it takes a month to get a new speaker. And we got a president that walks past the door and the Secret Service agent goes, hey, he just walked into the bushes. I can't find him. Okay. And this is all on TV. And other countries are witnessing this
I know.
bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
Why do you think the Houthis are having a good time with us? And then let's not forget religion, religious changes. You know, that's killing us too. And civil administration and it's leading to the increased pressure from invading barbarians. Well, that's the open borders. All these millions of people that they just welcomed in with open arms. Classic example, the ones that beat the snot out of those 2 cops in New York City. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I never heard one TV reporter with an ounce of courage say on TV, well, I'm going to say it here.
Yeah.
If there was a classic example of a deadly force situation, that was it.
Yeah.
They were going for the kill shot. As soon as that cop got kicked in the head,
Yep.
I would have drew my weapon and started firing.
Yep.
Classic deadly force situation.
Yep. Yeah, that whole mess is just an incredible nightmare.
Now they're on their way to California, and their court date is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hello?
Well, hopefully they'll stop off in Texas. Better yet, send them to Florida.
Oh, maybe they'll do their arraignment by, what do they call it? Zoom or WebEx. You know?
Yeah, video chat or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them on down here to Florida and let them have a talk with Sheriff Grady Judd. And I think that'll straighten their little shitheads right out.
Yeah.
Okay, we're pretty much done with congressional misconduct. I think we all agree that the toilet needs to be flushed. Is the only way that sewer is ever going to be drained.
Yep.
So let's move on to something different that I was just thinking about. Speaking of toilet flushing during the break, we're of a certain generation here, right? That remember some very significant events in our life. Yeah. For example, where were you when Kennedy was assassinated?
I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah. What were you doing?
They had us crouched down in the hallways, getting ready to dismiss us.
Okay. Okay. Me, for example, is I was home. I'd stepped on a needle. Well, let's see. I was 12 years old. So I stepped on a needle, got my foot. We went to the doctor, had it taken out. I was home watching TV, I remember seeing the Kennedys. I remember seeing that happen on TV. That was a very traumatic period in my young life. The next big one would be the landing on the moon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in a swimming pool listening to it on the radio.
Okay. I was at home again watching it on TV. Very significant event. So let's go to what would be the next big one of our lifetime. Let's do 9/11. I know you have some. I know where you were.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was covered in the debris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at home. I was working a midnight shift. I just got home, and I got a call from my daughter, and I answered it, and she said, "Dad, you need to turn the TV on." And in my muddled sleep, I woke up, turned the TV on, and saw the towers collapsing. My point of all this is those are very significant events in our lifetimes, okay, that have all left a mark on each of them, on us individually and collectively as a society, and actually as the world. Now, let's say where I'm going with this is, let's say if there was another 9/11 today, do you think that there would be this, given the current state of apathy in our country and lack of education, do you think you would have the same response where we all draw together as a nation to fight a common enemy?
So I'm going to quote a very dear friend of mine that I work with. And I won't mention his name, but he was a 3rd Battalion, 2nd Regiment Ranger. And he said to me, quote unquote, if they instituted that we go to war, my kids aren't going. So
Yeah.
I'd have to say if there was another 9/11 today or tomorrow, no.
Yeah. If it's done the same way it was last time, especially. I don't know. That really bothers me. There's nothing that ties us. We're so, as a nation, we're so distracted and so broken that nothing unites us anymore. We've lost the ability to be Americans, I think.
Well, what's there to be? I guess I'm gonna take a page out of Big Mike's book for a minute, and it's probably gonna piss some people off. But hey, that's what we're here to do, right?
Yep.
Piss people off. So, what is there today that would make you proud to be an American? For me, before I answer that, I'm going to give you my overview. And I say nothing. And the reason I say nothing is because 3 Americans were killed, 25 were wounded last week in an attack by Iranian-backed proxies known as the Houthis. Now, under the pressure from the Roman Empire, Biden and Lloyd Austin, who took a vacation and never told anybody, will respond at a time and a place of our own choosing. So for 4 days, they fucking telegraphed their fucking plans, which gave the Iranians plenty of time to move all their personnel, all their sensitive equipment, and whatever else they wanted to save out. And then they fucking launched a few fucking cruise missiles. They sent fucking B-1s from fucking Texas and blew up some fucking tents and whatever.
Yeah.
All fucking meaningless. Now, if you want to impress me and make me proud, go after mainland Iran.
Yeah.
Don't go after some fucking spots in the desert and turn it into glass.
Right. Well, it's all about optics, especially with this administration. I guess the justification for using B1s, they were showing that all of our enemies, various enemies throughout the world, that we could hit them anywhere or some such nonsense. No, the use of force by the U.S. military isn't optics. It's to kill people and blow shit up. It's very simple. That's the bottom line. You don't make impressions. You just kill people and blow shit up. That's their job.
Yeah.
And not under our current administration with the current commander in chief. That's a really good question about what makes people proud to be an American. I'm going to let you know what my thoughts are on that. But folks, we would love to hear from you too. Call us. Give us a call. It's you can see the number on the bottom. As soon as it gets back, I'll tell you what it is, just in case you can't see it if you're listening to us. Because we're looking at nuclear missile found in a U.S. man's garage. Biden team bracing for special counsel report on classified docs. Oh, here it is. Give us a call, 508-974-4231, and let us know how you feel about being an American. All right, me personally, it's a matter of history. I look back on Renee. You and I both have spent our lives in public service.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm proud of our history, and I see the flag, I still get all teary-eyed, and I stand up and either salute or put my hand where it needs to be. That kind
Damn
of
right.
But it's because of what's happened in the past, not because of what's happening right now. I feel
Right.
nothing but shame about what's going on with our nation right now. We're losing our republic, and it gets a little worse every day. So, but it's still there, And again, I keep going back to quiet professionals. It's still under the surface. I think that pride in our nation is there, and there are a lot of people that we never hear from. The farmers, the ranchers, the people that built this country, not the lawyers in suits in Washington. It's the people that actually work for a living are going to be the ones that stand tall when we're in a time of need again. And I try to have faith in that. I try to be positive and optimistic.
Yeah.
But it's harder every day, man.
Yeah.
To keep that going.
So why I lose faith? So, and the only reason I'm brushed up on this is because it's only 2 hours from me. My son lives up there. It's in his backyard, Mount Washington. There was a group that wanted to change the name of Mount Washington because George Washington was a slaveholder. Well, when I worked for the feds and I was assigned to D.C., every weekend I used to go out to Mount Vernon, Washington's estate. They had picnics out there, fairs. You could go to the Washington distillery and buy the bourbon, and whatever you wanted to do, you could do. And in touring this place, and you see the slaves live actually better than most people do today. But my point is, this group wanted to change the name of Mount Washington because George Washington owned slaves.
Yeah.
And so the U.S. Park Service didn't go along with it. But what they did was they added another name beside Mount Washington to Mount Washington just to appease these people.
What's the name?
I forget. It slips my mind.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's where we're headed. That's why I am not proud to be an American. Now, I'm with you. The past, the history, everything else, all for it. But today, going forward, absolutely not.
Yeah. I'm not, well, maybe I've used the wrong word with ashamed. I'm more embarrassed, I think. I'm embarrassed by the face that we're showing the rest of the world.
Yeah. And the rest of the world, I'd really like to know what they think of us, collectively, not individually.
I don't know. I was watching some video earlier that really kind of bothered me a little bit. It's and this takes us off into another topic that I'm not even sure I even want to get into because it's just so overworked now. Some guy's walking down the street in New York City and he pushes some girl out of the way and says, "Get out the way, bitch, it's Black History Month."
Yeah.
Come on, seriously?
Where's White History Month?
Well, yeah.
I mean, let's talk, let's be fair. Let's say apples and apples.
Yep. It's
I
unfortunate.
got plenty of black friends and I got nothing against Black History Month, but, don't single it out. Don't leave me behind in the dust.
Nope. Well, once again, it's all about power and control, and all this shit's promoted because we're stronger together than we are divided.
And I think, and I think they know that, and that's why they're doing their best to divide us.
Right. Right. Can you think of a single policy that liberals or Democrats or progressives or whatever you want to call them have come up with in the last 3 years that brings us together as a nation? I know. I can't. Or do I need to send you lobsters or what?
I can't think of one, but they came very close with the impeachment of Donald Trump. But other than that,
Yeah, I hadn't thought
unless
about
they reinvented shaman or something like that, no.
that. I hadn't even thought about that. Maybe that'll be the spark.
What's that?
Well, if they continue down this road with Trump, it seems like every time they do something stupid and indict him on something or whatever that everybody sees through, he gets his power gets stronger and stronger.
Well, I heard everything's starting to fall apart now, and like the DC case, John Smith's case is like just falling off the docket.
Yeah.
Not found anywhere. They don't even know what happened to it because they think the Supreme Court's going to rule that he had immunity.
Right. Yeah, and that's the whole purpose. They want to make sure that he gets convicted before the election.
Yeah, well, that doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now, Fonnie Willis's case is they said that they could just replace her and keep going with the case.
Mm-hmm.
There's another miscarriage of justice right there.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of something else I was thinking about earlier this morning when I was having my first cup of coffee. Prosecutorial misconduct. Do you think, and this goes out to everybody that's listening, again, please call in if you want to talk to us about this shit. 508-974-4231. Because I really want to hear everyone's opinions on this. Do you think prosecutors should be elected officials?
Yes, because there'd be well.
I know.
Let me back up.
Yeah.
Alvin Bragg's elected, but he's not accountable to the people. Well, overall, yes, prosecutors should be elected. It gives you a little bit of accountability.
Should there be a caveat there? And is there a system in place, though, to hold them accountable? Because it sure doesn't seem like it.
There's no system in place to hold them accountable.
Okay. So what would be an option for that then if they were appointed instead of elected? I mean, what are the pitfalls? What would be the cliffs to fall off of with appointed prosecutors? And appointed by who, I guess, would be the next question.
Well, if they were appointed, they'd have to be appointed by the Board of County Commissioners. They'd probably be able to be removed by the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
But
there's got to be some way to fix that.
Just like the sheriff that I used to work for that's currently indicted for misappropriation of funds and everything else.
Right.
He was put on leave by the county commissioners, and he resigned at the urging of the county commissioners. So,
okay,
maybe appointments are the way instead of elections.
The only downfall I can see with that is, like, let's say you have a city council or governors or whomever that are elected. Depending on their party, are they going to go party line or are they going to go do what's best for the people? You know the answer to that question. They're going to go party line. So Democrats are going to appoint Democrats, Republicans are going to appoint Republicans.
Yeah.
Or independents.
That's how it goes. They never do what's best. They never do what's in the best interest of you and I.
Right. There's got to be a way to fix that. 'Cause that's why they go after sheriffs so hard here lately. Is because they have no control over them.
Right.
A county sheriff is an elected official.
Right.
Specifically for the people. And they seem to be a lot more accountable. Well, they are a lot more accountable in general than prosecutors are.
Right.
And there has to be some way to fix that.
Well,
I don't know, brother, what our world is coming to.
where it's going.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
it's. I think it can best be defined as a Biden train wreck.
yeah, I think so. What do you think? We're coming up on an hour. Do you want to wrap this up now, or
Yeah,
okay? You want to take us out?
sure. This show today has been sponsored by i12 GIA, where you can come for your training on how to survive in a critical situation like when the Chinese take down the power grid, the electric grid, the medical, self-defense training, firearms training. You can buy body armor, you can buy emergency food, peace of mind training, for your medical training and medical supplies. Chet,
Yeah.
is your group.
I do. Global Elite Tactical Training. You can find us online. And I've got something that this is a really good book. It's going to be backwards. You can't see it, but it's on spiritual warfare. I was privileged to go to one of Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman's classes when he first started out many, many years ago on killing, I guess. And he's written a series of books. This is his latest iteration. It's really good stuff. So if you want it, go buy it online, Amazon, so forth and so on.
I get the one you sent me. I've been reading it every day.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But I got Grossman's big book on how to train yourself, put yourself in a mindset to kill.
Right. Yep. Same here. Yeah, go look at his series. He's got some excellent
That's
stuff.
not as nice and as comforting as the one you sent me.
Yeah, that's more of that's spiritual work.
The other one's an eye opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little different concept, but
Yeah.
all right, folks. Well, thanks for being with us today. We really enjoyed talking to you. Hopefully, it's been as beneficial for you as it has been for us. And stay tuned. We'll be back next Sunday with more real talk with real people.
Have a good day.